Good evening, students. The next topic which we are going to see is the joint stock company. What is meant by a joint stock company? A company is an association of persons formed for carrying out business activities and has a legal status independent of its members. So, to have a better understanding of this, a company can be described as how a company can be described as is it is an artificial person, that is, it does not have any physical person as human being has, but it is called as an artificial person having a separate legal entity. Legally it is a separate thing, and it has a perpetual succession. There is perpetual succession in the sense, the company tends to continue even though owners of the company is not present, as well as a common seal. The company does not have a signature of its own, so that we call or we take a common seal as the signature of the company. So the companies are governed by the Indian Companies Act of 2013. So who are called as the shareholders of the company? The company shareholders are called as the owners of the company, and the board of directors are called as the chief managing body. So who are called as shareholders? A person who is having share in a particular company is called as a shareholder. What is meant by share? The next question is the total capital of the company is divided into smaller units, that is called as shares. So the person who holds the share in a company is called as a shareholder of a company. So again I repeat, a company can be described as an artificial person having a separate legal entity, perpetual succession, and a common seal. So what are the features of the company? What I'll just list out the features of the company. The first one, it is an artificial person. So a company is always created by law, and it is independent of its members, like any other natural person. Who are called as natural person? Human beings are called as natural person. A company also can own a property, it can buy property, it can have debts, it can borrow money, it can enter into contracts, and it can sue anyone. That is, sue means filing a case against anyone, and anyone can file a case against it, and unlike them, but it cannot breathe, eat, run, talk, and so on. So it is called as an artificial person. The second one is separate legal entity. So from the day of its incorporation in the sense registration. So from the day of its registration, a company has an identity, that is, it is a separate identity which is different from its members கிட்ட இருந்து தனியா இருக்கும். So its assets and liabilities are separate from that of its owners. அவங்க owners கிட்ட இருந்து the owner's assets and liabilities are completely different, and the company's assets and liabilities are completely different. So the law does not recognize the business and owners as the same. And the next one is formation. How a company is formed? The formation of a company, it is a very time consuming process. That is, it takes a lot of time, expensive, and it is one of the complicated process. It involves preparation of several documents, as well as several legal requirements are there before a company is formed. So incorporation of companies is compulsory. Incorporation means, again I repeat, it is registration. So a company has to be registered under the Companies Act of 2013 or any other previous company law, as state earlier, that is mentioned earlier. So such companies which are registered under the Companies Act 1956 or any other company law can be called as a company. So that is the third feature. The next one is perpetual succession. What is meant by perpetual succession? That is the continuity of the business, continuity of the company, existence of the company. A company is created by law, we know. It can be brought to an end only by law. When you want to close a company, it also has to be done only with the help of law. So it will only cease to exist. Cease means stop. It will stop to exist when a specific procedure for its closure has to be followed, otherwise it cannot be closed. So members of the company may come in or they may go out, whatever it may be, but it is not possible to close a company. A company continues to exist. Next one is the control. So when coming to control, who controls the affairs of the company? So it is done by the board of directors. So the board of directors appoints the top management officials of the company for running the business. So the directors hold an important position because it is very, very important. So they are directly responsible, or they are directly answerable to the shareholders for the working of the company. The shareholders, they do not have the right to be involved in the day-to-day running of the business. Even though they are called as the owners of the company, they do not have the right to be involved in the business. So the next one is liability. As we see in the previous cases or previous forms of business organization, the liability of certain cases are unlimited, but here the liability is limited. What is liability is limited? So the liability of the members is limited to the extent of the capital which is contributed by them. எவ்வளோ கேபிட்டல் கொடுத்துருக்காங்களோ அதளவுக்கு தான் அவங்களுக்கு liability இருக்கும். So the creditors of the company, they can use only the assets of the company to settle the debts which the company has got. So it is not the responsibility of the shareholders to give excess amount on what they have contributed. It can be told with the help of a small example that a person who is holding a share, that is 2000 shares of rupees 10 each. So he is contributing only rupees 20,000. So the amount of liability which the particular shareholder has is only to the extent of that 20,000. So the next feature is common seal. A company may or may not have a common seal. It is not mandatory that all the company will have common seal, but it can have a common seal. If a company is having a common seal, so it will be, or it must be affixed to the documents such as agreements of the company. So what are all the agreements the company is entering into? All those agreements should contain the common seal of the company. So if a company does not have any common seal, then the person who is signing the document should be the authorized person. That is, he must be a person who is recognized by board, that is board of directors. So the last and the final feature is risk bearing. So the risk of the losses in the company will be taken or borne by all the shareholders. Unlike the sole proprietorship or a partnership or any other form of business organization, there only few persons will take care of the losses. But in this company form of organization, all the shareholders are responsible for the losses. In case there is any financial loss, then all shareholders in the company have to contribute to the debts to the extent of their shares which is held by them.